I definitely wrote this one after I wrote the mom poem. Um, because I remember I tried to do 30 and 30. I think this was the third or second time I tried. I don't know. I was successful the first time. I wrote 30 poems. I pushed them out too, but every other time I made it about halfway through May. Like I just couldn't stick to it. I'm thinking about doing it again this year because it would be nice to have another batch of 30 poems, you know? To just be like, yeah, I did that. Um, but we'll see if I do 30 and 30 again. But here I am, Samuel Alexander, with another poem from Lewis, the sixth in my I See Things in Blue series. I do like this one. I do, because it speaks again to people believing in you, just like in Shore. And like, I don't know why you love me, because I don't think I'm deserving of it. And it takes the idea of a relationship, whether it be friendship or romantic, from that stance. And I do that often. Even when things work out well, I still say it, because even when you're like, man, I don't think I deserve this, you have it. And the other person is not taking it away. Like, they've decided that you are it, and it just kind of lifts you in a way that, because you just do not think you're worthy of the things that you're getting. And it can change and reshape you and make you realize that, you know what, maybe I am these things and I just needed someone else to show me. Um, so I can't remember if this one works out well in the end, because it's been a minute, but here we are. You fabricate me. You tell me that I'm beautiful. I say thank you, but don't believe. Worthless, lost, useless, hopeless, less than human, those are me. A being that gets from here to there without a care or tiny inclination that it is anything of importance. Yet you seem to think I am, well, important. Like you've flown down and landed from some alien land, and I wonder, are you blind? Why do you not see what's plainly before the eye? Can't you see broken, lost cause, emptiness wrapped in a dark shell of depression, something that appears to be whole but is really just a hole full of all the things that nothing is comprised of? Why won't you listen to me and run? Let me be. Stop torturing me with words filled with dreams of a me that will never be in existence. Who is this person you are fabricating? Where did they arrive from? And why do you keep addressing them like they are me? Someone else deserves what you can give. Me? Me? Well, look at me. Just look at me. I'm not worth kindness or love, and the longer you spend convincing yourself you see worth in me, I'll pull you down to the ground, into the well of souls without purpose. And once you're here, you'll feel the depression of what it means to exist without worth. That's what I am, crying on the inside, dying, flying without ever leaving the ground, and you try to convince me I have wings. I speak with a soft voice, yet you insist my words have meaning. I'm drowning in the abyss, yet you tell me I can swim. But I feel the water surrounding me, and the salt of defeat enters my lungs, and I gasp for air. Barely staying afloat, and these wings you say I have are soaked, and I have not the strength to use them, weighted down. My voice gets lost among the crashing waves, and I become a useless shell washed upon the sandy shore to be picked up by you. And you say you see a spark, life, purpose, meaning. But when you close your eyes, what am I? Just a shell you found in the sand that will be tossed back out to sea. Skipped across the surface, and as I plummet after my last jump and sink into the depths beyond, what will my beauty be then? I'll just be another shell amongst others that had no real meaning beyond what my beholder placed upon me. Nothing of my own to grab and hold onto. I'm not anything that you say you see in me, and no matter how hard I try to bring truth into your eyes, you are too blinded by your fabrication, the truths of your imagination, to see the real truth that I am unworthy. Cannot be what you see, and someone else deserves the praises you give. Still, if there was a way I could shower you with the facts of my shattered existence, I don't think I would take it. I wouldn't place that on anyone. And even though I don't deserve what you give, I crave it, need it, want to believe it. Live in a delusional world where I am more than this thing. Be transformed for just a time into the man seen through your eyes. If I could just be him for a moment each day, then the madness I feel may evaporate and leave me brand new. But fantasies are for fairy tales, and this is not fiction. So I'll cling to your words, attach them to that place where good things go, and pray that one day I can find them. That one day all the good will flood to the front and I'll be free. I'll believe. I'll see what you see, but right now, I hear you say I'm amazing just as I am. But on the inside, I cry. I don't believe. Um, this was very coincidental because I think Lewis says you're amazing just the way you are. And it's okay to see things in blue every time Dario leaves his presence. So when I read this, because I told you all I couldn't remember, and now I've read it and I do, when I got to the end and it says, I hear you say I'm amazing just as I am, I said, I have to put this in Lewis's book. It would have been nice to put it in the last book because of the friendship and relationship dynamic of Kevin and Dario, but it felt better here, mostly because this is what Lewis does for him. He keeps telling him he's great and, giving him praise. And he's just an adult that's doing this. And an adult that he spends time with at least twice a week. Once or twice a week because he's his piano coach and his vocal coach. And even if he's only seeing him once, they have a friendship dynamic, whereas they all go to the same church. So it's also not odd for Gavin or Raylan to show up, like if he's there, especially with Gavin living so close. Just, barely 2 blocks or even 2 houses. I can't really remember how close I made him. But they are closer to the beach, the same beach that's in the area where they all live, and so yeah, there's a certain dynamic of him being an adult that influences him the way that he wants his own parents to see him. But since his parents don't see him that way, that's where the "you fabricate me" comes from. You say that I'm beautiful. I say thank you, but don't believe. Like he makes Dario repeat this to him every time it's in his presence. You're amazing just the way you are. And it's okay to say life in blue. And, obviously Dario is saying I'm amazing just the way I am. And it's okay to see life in blue. And so this poem fits because Dario really doesn't believe this about himself. And Kevin is the avenue for everything, all seeds planted to grow. Because it's in there because Raylan, Gavin, and especially Lewis. Like if anybody really tries to drill it home, it's Lewis. Um, you know, and he always hopes. He is the ray of light that's in this poem. He always hopes that one day Dario will believe it, but he knows Dario does not believe it. Like he's not blind. But persistence and consistency is key, and that's what another reason it fits because at the end it says So I'll cling to your words, attach them to that place where all good things go, and pray that one day I can find them. That one day all the good will flood to the front and I'll be free. I'll believe. I'll see what you see. And so even Dario kind of clings to the words and lets it settle in him, even though they don't go beyond the point that they need to go, because some part of the hope and faith that's in Lewis lets him believe that, you know what, maybe if I do hold on to them, even though I can't do anything with them now, one day I might also believe it. But in the moment, he doesn't. And so, yeah, it was very coincidental that it says, I hear you say I'm amazing just as I am. So there was no way, even though it does fit very well for the final book, that I was going to put it there. Because, you know, it's very Lewis. Um, it's kind of like the opposite side of the coin of sacrifice, um, because it's taking it from a different angle. Where, as in the other one, that's how Dario will ultimately see Lewis. In this one, it explains how why he sees Lewis that way, even though he doesn't, believe it, because he keeps doing all these things, and once he finally realizes, he shifts over from this into sacrifice. Dario, his awareness of what Lewis is for him becomes more prevalent as he becomes more acceptant of himself, and we just left acceptance. So that's what makes it interesting. And this book is total for the same sequence, but unlike all the other books, because Rayland and Kevin start when they're around 9ish, and Dario starts when he's 5. The big difference with this book is that you get a little bit of before Dario, the where Dario begins. Because in order to introduce Lewis, since they're both in the same scene together, they are the first two people that you're really introduced to, because Dario is up on stage and you got a little glimpse of how his parents treat him because they're in the audience. But Lewis is playing the guitar and he's his, piano teacher, as you find out as the book progresses. And so they are the two people that are on the stage. And I describe the guitar playing in a very poetic kind of way. So it lands, and the only way to make that make sense was to give you something before, even though it was just about an hour or so, before where the first book actually started, and then travel from there, so that the dynamic of Lewis and Latoya and how they are with each other would be the first instance that you get of Lewis in his own book versus what I've already given you on stage. Um, so yeah, I definitely do like this one for a multitude of reasons. For 13 minutes, I feel like that's long enough for y'all. So if you've made it this far, as per usual, thanks for stopping by.